This is the Textured Cactus project, and it was inspired by work from the Lost Sock artist and some imagery that I found online. These references will be at your table as we draw in your sketchbooks and for your final. You've got lots of ideas for inspiration. Let's get started. The first thing that you're going to do is to create the container or planting pot for your cacti or multiple cactus. I'm going to create an oval, but I'm not going to fully complete the oval. It's almost like a letter C on its side. I'm going to leave that gap because I know that there's going to be cactus growing from the center. To create the illusion that it's three-dimensional, I'm going to create two vertical lines, and then I'm going to curve the bottom part to create that lip around the top of my container. To do this, I'll turn my page just to make sure that that line is as parallel as possible. Now you're going to complete your pot. You can either have two vertical lines going straight down, or you can slightly angle them. The choice is up to you, and on the reference page you have several different options. Now you get to choose what type of styles you'd like to put inside your container. I'm going to start off with the cactus that looks like a sphere. I'm going to draw a circle, but you won't see me complete the circle because a part of the cactus is inside the container. Next, you're going to draw curved lines to the left and right to create the illusion that it is a sphere. We will come back to add texture later. Now, in order to create the illusion of space, I'm going to overlap the next cactus. So this is that tall one with the arms, pretty much the classic cactus that we think of. I'm going to draw up, curve, and draw a line all the way down. As you can see, part of it is covered from the other cactus in the foreground. I'm next going to draw the arms. You can have one or two arms. It's up to you. You're the artist. Next, I'm going to draw the inside part of the lines, curving some lines to the left, and then once I reach that middle point of the cactus, I'll curve the rest of the lines to the right. I'll also be creating curved lines inside the arms of the cactus as well. At this point, you can begin to create your own embellishments. Maybe you have a cactus that's in bloom. For this next area, you can draw another cactus, or you can create something from your imagination. This next one to me is some sort of plant, perhaps a succulent. I've added leaves, and then I've also added a strong shoot coming out of the center with a bloom. It's texture time, folks. On the lines inside the cactus, place an X evenly on top of the line, equally spacing them out. That will create the implied texture that there are spikes happening on these cactuses. On the outside line of your cactus, instead of drawing an X, draw a V, because that's what the spikes look like in a profile view or from the side. The last drawing detail would be to add some simple patterns to your container. I just decided to break up the space with several vertical lines. As we begin to color our cactus, I'd like you to pull aside some colors. At the very least, green and light green. Bonus if you can find yellow, green, and yellow. Pull those colors aside and let's begin. To further the illusion that this is a three-dimensional shape, we're going to create highlights and lowlights. So the highlights will be in the center of our cactus spaces. That will be a yellow or a yellow-green, and then I'm going to take my second lightest color and fill in the space all the way. I'm coloring nice and neat and hard enough so that you don't see the white paper underneath. Keep in mind, we're going to do a lot of blending with these crayons. Our last step is to take our darkest green and draw over the lines that we have created. These are going to be the shadows, or the places that are darkest. I might come in again and blend a little bit more just to make sure that there's a smooth transition between dark and light. So each line that you've created, we're going to create a dark green color on top, and if you like, you could go over the X's as well, just to emphasize. I'm going to use the same coloring techniques on this cactus as well. Once you've filled in your highlight, you can go in with your second lightest color and fill it in. And yes, that is my studio cat Bastion making an appearance. The final step is to add that dark green color to the cactus, outlining the lines you've created on the inside and maybe a little bit more to fill in the space. You are the artist, you just decide where it looks best to create that illusion of 3D forms. At this point, any part of your artwork that is left blank with white paper, we are going to fill with tempera paint, specifically with tempera cakes. So you will choose one color for the background, one color that you think best highlights your cactus. I decided on a really warm, sunny orange, and I'm loading my paintbrush right now. So once you choose your color, I suggest outlining the cactus, just to make sure that you don't paint inside them accidentally in a rush. So I'm carefully outlining the shapes that I have. If you do happen to paint on top of your cactus, it's okay, because the wax of the crayon will repel the water in your watercolor, but just be mindful. Also, when you're laying down color, I suggest coloring in the same direction. That will keep your artwork looking nice and neat, and even at your age, we can scribble scrabble with paint. So our goal is to have a nice even coat. So you can see I'm painting back and forth in the same direction, reloading my paintbrush once I have used all the paint. Take your time. You've worked so hard on your cactus. I would hate to see your background get super sloppy and totally take away from the effort you created from drawing. As you're watching me paint, I'd also like to make note that you're going to be using the same careful painting technique as you paint the container for your plant.